Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Jacqueline and this is lowcarblish. And if you're new here, this is a channel where we take our favorite high carb foods and we make really delicious low carb versions of them. So today we are going to be making a green bean casserole, and we're going to make it as close to the traditional one as we can. It's going to be super delicious and very low carb, and you're going to love it. Okay guys, I was going to make this video for y'all before Thanksgiving, but I had company come in unexpectedly, and I had one of my sisters from church coming over for dinner, so I just didn't have time. But today we're going to make this because Christmas is coming up, and a lot of you guys enjoy this at Christmas too. So I used to love the green bean casserole that we made with the high carb soup and the fried onions that are super high carb, and so I was working on trying to figure out a way to get that same good flavor and texture and it still be simple and not, to where you're spending half the day on one dish because, over the holidays we're busy. So today I'm going to do a really easy version of this. Now, you are perfectly welcome if you have the time and the inclination to use fresh green beans and cook them any way you want to, and also to use fresh mushrooms and saute them and do that any way you want to. I'm going the easy route today, and I promise you it's still going to taste good. So what we're going to have in this recipe today, and don't worry about the amounts because I'm going to have the recipe down below with all the amounts and everything that you need, but I'm just going to go over what we're going to be using today. So I've got, in this bowl, I've just got 2 cans of green beans, just regular 15-ounce cans of green beans drained. This is 1 can of mushrooms. I think it's like 8 ounces drained weight. And all I did was put these in the food processor and zhuzh them up to make them about the same size pieces that are in the soup that we use in the regular version. I've got a cup of Parmesan cheese, and this is what we're going to use on the top when we get through. I've got a half an onion here that's diced up, and you can see this is just a half of an onion, and you can see how much onion is in there, and it's really going to flavor our casserole. We've got heavy whipping cream. I've got beef broth. We've got 4 tablespoons of cream cheese, a tablespoon of butter that I'm going to use in the pan to saute the onions and the mushrooms with. I've got salt and pepper mixed here, and then I've got 1/4 teaspoon of Glucomanan to help thicken it up. Now I will tell you guys, if y'all don't have Glucomanan, don't worry about that, because as this sits and cools, even without the Glucomanan, it's going to thicken up some, and I promise you, you're going to like it. So we are going to go over to the stove now and get started. Okay guys, so we're going to get started with this thing. I've got a big pan here, and this is done all on top of the stove until I put it in the pan to put it in the oven to heat it up. So we're going to start off here putting the tablespoon of butter in the pan and get that melted and going here. And we're going to put the onions and the mushrooms in, and part of the salt and pepper in first. And we're going to get everything sauteing and just get the onions a little translucent and put a little bit of a heat scorch on the mushrooms. Not too much, but a little. Alright, set some of these dishes out of my way. And then I had mixed the salt and pepper up together, so I'm going to use about half of that first, and then I'm going to add the rest of it in when we put the green beans in the mix. And you guys, this is going to be so good. It makes 8 servings, which is a nice size serving, and there's less than 3 carbs per serving. I think it's like 2.31 or something like that, but I'll have all that down in the description too. And all I'm going to do, I've got this over medium heat, and you can hear it sizzling and stuff. I'm going to put the lid on this pan, and then in just a few minutes when the onions have gotten translucent, we're going to come back and we'll finish it all up here, and then we'll put it in the pan and pop it in the oven. And we'll be right back. Okay guys, so it's been about 7 minutes. And you can see the onions have gotten a little translucent here, and the mushrooms, they're not scorched, but they're heated through, and that's what I'm looking for. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little pool right here in the middle of them. This part of what I was telling you about this dish being so easy is it's all in one pan except for the pan that we're going to put it into warm it in the oven. So I'm going to put my cream cheese in here. And you can make your cream cheese room temperature and it'll melt a little faster. I totally forgot to do that, so we're just going to roll with it this way, but it's still going to melt for me. And put your cream cheese in the middle. And it is going to melt and get yummy and delicious. Alright, and so then we're going to go in with the heavy cream and just pour that right there too. And I'm going to get my little spatula because y'all know how I feel about this. Getting all the goodies out of the bowls. Alright, I'm going to put this over here. I'll be right back. Alright, and then we're going in with the beef broth. And you guys, the beef broth helps add that richness of flavor. It takes part of the plainness away from this dish that it would have if you didn't have that depth of flavor and they're adding the beef broth. And you can see here that the cream cheese is starting to melt. And I'm going to cook this a little bit down, but I won't have to cook it down very far because we're going to be putting the green beans in here with it. But I do like to let it cook a little bit and get thick as we're going along. And I'm also, like I said, going to add the rest of the salt and pepper in here. And I'm going to also put the Glucomanan in. And like I said, if you don't have Glucomanan or if you don't want to use Glucomanan, you do not have to. This will thicken up after it's baked and it cools down a little bit. It will thicken up some. But it's going to be pretty thick when it goes into the bacon dish. So I've got 1/4 of a teaspoon of Glucomanan and I'm just sprinkling this in. And we're just going to let this cook down and it'll thicken up here as we're letting it cook. And we're probably going to have to let this cook about 4 or 5 minutes. And then I'll come back and I'll show you what we're looking for, and then we'll add the beans and pop it in the oven. And we'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so it's been about 4 or 5 minutes here, and you can see in the pan how nice and thick this is getting. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And then I'm just going to put the green beans in. And like I said, this is just 2 cans, 15-ounce cans of green beans. Uh-oh, I see here somebody. Wonder if Amazon's here or at the neighbor's house. Anyway, we're going to put the beans in and mix them up here like this. And then we're going to put them in the bacon dish. And y'all, I'm going to cut away for just a second and see what she's barking at, because that is her alarm bark. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay guys, I'm back. She was barking at some little kid that was out riding a scooter right in front of our house. So anyway, the green beans are ready to go in the pan here, and I've just got a 9 by 13 pan, and all I'm going to do is spray it with a little bit of coconut oil, but you can use avocado oil, olive oil, whatever you need to use, butter, just to, you know, get your pan greased up a little bit here. And I always like to hit the corners extra just because they stick in the corners sometimes. And this is it, guys. All we're going to do is pour this, and I'm going to have to use both handles on this pan because it is heavy to me. And then we'll go in and scrape it out. And you guys, if you love the traditional green bean casserole and you want something that's fast and simple compared to some of the other recipes out and about, this may be the ticket for you. And I'm just going to spread this out in the pan. And the topping is really fantastic on this. And all this is a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I think I've got actually grated Parm and Romano today. But plain Parm, plain Romano, whatever kind of grated cheese you want to use, it all works. And so I'm just going to go in here and sprinkle this over the casserole. And this melts and it gets cheesy and delicious. And if you still are wanting the crunch of the fried onions that we cannot use because they're so high in carbs, you can take some pork rinds and just kind of mash them up a little bit in a baggie or something, and then pour them over this after you take it out of the oven. I would not suggest putting them on here before you bake this in the oven because they will get soggy and you won't have that nice crunch that you're looking for. And so this is all I've done here is just put this in the pan. And now, like I said, my oven's been heating at 350. I'm gonna pop this in the oven, and it takes about 15 to 20 minutes for it to get melted and bubbly. And you'll be able to see when you got it in the oven, when you're bubbling here and your cheese is melted, it's ready to come out because everything's already cooked. So we're basically just trying to heat it through and melt the cheese and everything on top. So I will get this in the oven, and we will be back in about 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll plate it up and we'll be eating some green bean casserole. Okay guys, so the casserole's been in the oven. It's been about 20-21 minutes now, and it is ready to go. And this is what we're looking for, guys. It is beautiful and it's delicious. And I am going to let this cool off probably for a good 10 or 15 minutes before I plate it up. And when we come back, we'll be eating some green bean casserole, and it's delicious. Alright guys, so this has been sitting out for about 10 minutes now. And I don't know if you can hear Macy, but she's decided she's going to come in and help supervise. So like I said, this makes 8 nice size servings. So what I do is cut right down the middle on my pan, and then cut down the middle this way, and then cut down the middle of both sides to get my servings. And as you can see, those are nice size servings there. So it has thickened up nicely with the Glucomanan, but like I said, it will thicken up for you even if you don't use Glucomanan. And so we are going to go over to the table and have a little taste test. Okay guys, so it's time to dig into the green bean casserole. If you are a fan like I am, I think you're going to love this dish. It is so good. Let me get a drink here. My goodness. This casserole, the inside of it tastes just like a regular traditional green bean casserole, and the cheesy topping on top is just melty and gooey and delicious. So I hope you guys will give this a try. Miss Macy has decided that she's going to come in here and help supervise today, and she's getting a little cookie because she can't have this because it's got the onion in it. Hi, love. You want a cookie? Yes. Oh, good girl. So if you guys like the content that you're seeing here, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that like button for me, because it really does help people that have just been diagnosed to find my channel, and it helps them find the answers that we are all looking for to reverse type 2 diabetes. And also, if you would subscribe, you would never miss another recipe that I have, especially if you hit that little notification button. So I hope that you guys will try this. I hope this will add to your holiday meals. And like I say, I went with the easy route today, but you could totally... Okay, we'll have another cookie in just a minute. Just a minute. You could totally go with doing your own green beans and mushrooms and, you know, starting from scratch. I just always like to go for the quick and easy way, especially when I'm doing a whole bunch of cooking for other people. So anyway, I hope you guys will have a happy holiday. This is one of many recipes that we're going to be doing in December that are holiday related recipes. So thanks for coming in with me today, guys. I hope you have a fantastic evening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.